YouTube, and welcome to my first video in a series of videos that I'm going to be looking at into the Harpie strategy. So I'm going to be doing a series of videos looking at various play styles that you can do with them and sort of what their general best plays are. Today's video we're going to be looking at what Harpie's best opening play is. It's a question that I see on the forums quite a lot, and that's something I get asked quite a lot is, you know, what is Harpie's best opening play? Because we don't really have a clear-cut standard opening play. So today I'm going to be looking at just a few various opening plays that the Harpies can make and what I personally feel is their best opening play. So Harpies, I feel, are a very reactive deck. We can see that with our main XYZ cards, Ice Beast, Zerifine and Lightning Chidori. Because these are so reactive, you know, they require an opponent's field to be set up. Neither of those are going to be what you want for an opening play. You're going to generally want something that's quite defensive, and a 2000 attack and a 1900 attack aren't going to do the job. So really those are reactive, so you want to wait till your opponent has their field set up before looking into them. Maestro Djinn is another monster. I would say he's sort of your last resort if you want, as to what sort of XYZ you want to go to on your first turn. The video today I'm going to be explaining that Harpies don't necessarily need to go into an XYZ. Really I only feel there is one XYZ that is a decent first turn play. Depending on your hand, I think Maestro is good if you don't have any defensive traps and you need some sort of defense, then I'd say go for him. But other than that, I think probably the best XYZ to go opening play would be Dracosac. Obviously just an all-round great card. Just remember to special summon him in defense mode on your first turn, so that 101 can't take hold of him. But generally I personally feel that Dracosac is our best opening play. Even if he is in defense position, he's still a really difficult card for your opponent to get over, and it's going to use up a lot of their resources if they're going to have to get through him. Okay, so with regards to the XYZs, obviously we've got two new arrivals in Legacy of the Valiant. Personally, I don't feel either are worth going first turn either, as again, similar to our other two key cards, they're reactive, so they require your opponent to have set up their field already. So if we're looking at first turn plays, I think your best one is going for a Dracosac in defense. Okay, so if you can't go into Dracosac, one of my personal favourite cards is Magical Hats. I think a lot of things in Yu-Gi-Oh! You need to rely on being discreet and not letting your opponent know all the cards you have. So sometimes even what I'll do is, if my opening hand is, say, only just like a standalone Harpie and a bunch of, say, I don't know, spell or trap cards, there's not a lot of plays I can do here. So all I would do is simply set my monster and then set, say, a couple of back row. And that will leave my opponent not knowing what I'm running, and hopefully on their turn either I can activate, say, Icarus attack if I want to go on the defensive, or I could use Magical Hats. So Magical Hats is again a great opening play. It just basically means that there's a very high chance that you're going to be able to get off Hysteric Sign. And as well, by playing everything sort of like face down on your first turn, they don't have a clue that you're playing Harpies, which might mean that even if, say, they don't attack, they're still going to feel safe in setting all their back row, on which case on your turn, if you've got a Hunting Ground and a Dancer, you can obliterate their back row. So now let's say that your opening hand doesn't have any defensive traps, bar, say, a Magical Hat, and you don't have a Harpie Channeler or an Elegant Egotist, which means you can't make that rank 4 or rank 7 XYZ play. If, however, you've got Hysteric Sign, or say Harpie Queen or Harpie's Hunting Ground, another cool opening play, although it gives away what you're doing, if your hand at the end of the day isn't very strong, then you need to activate Hysteric Sign as soon as possible. So a nice opening play as well would be pitch Harpie Queen to grab your Hunting Ground, or if you've already got Hunting Ground, great. Activate Harpie's Hunting Ground, set your Hysteric Sign, and normal summon your Cyber Harpie to destroy you face down the hysteric sign, and then if you've got whatever sort of defense to protect your Harpy, do that. But the important thing is, end phase, you can get your 3 searches from hysteric sign. This is just a quick little demonstration of what I feel is one of Harpy's best possible opening plays. So say this is your standard 6-card opening hand. Ditch Harpy Queen to add your Harpy's Hunting Ground. So activate Harpy's Hunting Ground. Set your hysteric sign. Summon a channeler to destroy your set sign, which means you get to, search during your end phase. Use channeler's effect to ditch Harpy Dancer. Bring out Harpy's Pet Dragon. Then obviously overlay them. And bring out your Draco Sack in defense mode. Now it's very important, obviously, like I said, that you do bring them out in defense in case of your opponent bringing out 101, which could just totally take over your Draco Sack. Detach channeler. And then special summon your 2 tokens. Now, the reason why I specifically chose channeler over Pet Dragon is because I've got a hysteric party play. So obviously you want more Harpies in the grave than a Pet Dragon. Now if I didn't have a hysteric party, chances are I'd probably go for a Pet Dragon, as I'll be able to search out my 3 Harpy cards and then hopefully make Queen to Djinn and bring back that Pet Dragon from the grave. Okay, so then to end the turn, all you need to do is set your hysteric party, and then this could be any sort of defensive trap. So it could be bottomless, could be solemn warning, could even be magical hats, and set that. And then obviously during your end phase, remember hysteric sign, and then you get to add your 3 Harpy cards. Now on your opponent's turn, obviously you've got something to take care of their monster, a strong field, and during your own turn, you can activate your own hysteric party. Okay, so to summarise this strategy video of Harpy's best opening plays. Overall, Draco Sack is the best option, playing him in defense. Failing to bring out Draco Sack, the other option would be Hunting Ground, destroy your set hysteric sign, and draw 3 during the end phase. And last but not least would be to set a Harpy and set some good defense back row. The reason why I say set the Harpy is because then your opponent doesn't know what you're playing. I think stuff like Magical Hat's Icarus Attack, if your opponent sees a standalone Harpy, chances are they're going to know that one of those 2 face down cards are probably going to be one of these. Or you could even, if you don't have a Hunting Ground, set hysteric sign and just hope that they manage to pop it. But yeah, so the basic point is, if you can't go into Draco Sack, you need to try trigger hysteric sign as fast as possible, because if you don't have that field presence, then chances are you're going to be losing that duel. So I hope this video has been helpful to you guys. Let me know, post comments, check out my other videos and subscribe, and stay tuned for some more Harpy deck strategy videos. Cheers!